Up next on the MARR Army Rock Show, we have got Steve Catt with us. He is the lead singer and guitar player of Last of the Misfit Heroes. They're out of the UK. They've got an EP out right now called Misfit Misplaced. You can pick that one up, I believe, worldwide on all digital outlets. I know you can here in the US. So, Steve, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Yeah, you can get it all over the place at the moment. Yeah, we've stuck it as far as we can. It's everywhere.
So, hey, for my listeners that may be new to the band, I know you've done a lot of interviews over here in the States, but maybe folks that don't know you guys yet, give us a little bit of the bio of the band, a little of the history of the band.
Yeah, sure. Well, we formed last year. It was probably about April, probably actually about this time last year, April, May last year. And, we're a three-piece band. We're mainly influenced with sort of British rock, punk, a whole load of things, grunge as well. There's a whole load of things that we all enjoy. We're a three-piece. Like you said, I sing and play guitar. Then there's Ange Jackman on bass, and he does backing vocals. And we got Chris on drums. Ange I've known since we were at school together. So that's, it's been a long time. So we were about 5 when we met, and we played in bands ever since, sort of thing. And Chris is my cousin, so It all worked out pretty well, really. This band sort of came about just through. Me and Andrew were playing in the band before, but things weren't really working out, and we weren't really enjoying it. And we decided, what can we do? What is it we want out of a band? And and this is what came out of it, really. The idea of this band is really just to be as creative as we can, and just do it. We're long past the days of trying to make money out of it. So let's try and enjoy it. That's the way we look at it.
Some of the best bands out there are doing it that way. It keeps them back to the music. Now, I was watching a YouTube video you did where you kind of introduced the band, and it almost felt like it was kind of like this band was sort of like a therapy or a good mental health prescription for you guys. Could you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, of course. No, definitely. It's, from my own experience with mental health, there's actually probably January last year, I had it's hard to describe because I had a bit of an episode with my own mental health, and it sort of knocked me out for a long time. I was sort of struggling with depression, anxiety, and things like that, and I knew something was wrong, but I didn't have a clue what was going on. And so basically, I just had to stop everything I was doing and sort of reinvent myself, if you like, start again. And I've learned a lot, from what's happened in the last year, and we've started getting involved in mental health issues. We did a few gigs last year raising money for mental health charities here in the UK. But I've spent this last year sort of learning as much as I can about mental health, and the one thing I have learned is that it's so difficult to try and realise where you are. I'm not saying I'm not telling anyone they've got mental health issues or they haven't, but it's a difficult subject, I think. And for me personally, I obviously knew about depression and things like that, but I hadn't really thought I would suffer from it. And I think half the problem is you sort of tell yourself that it's never going to happen to me, or this, it's just me, me being silly or whatever. But you let that carry on for so long, and I mean, it wasn't just one event for me; it was a whole build-up of things which I hadn't dealt with.
Sure.
And actually thinking about it, I mean, music was a big part of that. I'd sort of gone through. Like I said, I've been playing bands since school, really. Yeah. And I've always wanted to do things in bands and try in the early days, try and make money out of it and try and become a rock star or whatever. But I think I'd never actually found something. I've had a lot of highs from music, but I've also had quite a lot of lows as well. And I think the band, like I said, the band I was playing in before, it wasn't giving me that creative outlet. And a lot of my problem is if I can keep my mind creative, if I can be doing things like we're doing now, talking about music, and we're doing videos all the time, and we're just keeping ourselves creative, and that really helps. It's just an outlet for me, just to then get all the negative stuff out. A lot of our lyrics, a lot of our songs are based on mental health things, and our first song, Wake Up Call, was pretty much the first song I wrote for this band, and it was in a way, like we're sort of saying, it's a therapy, really. It's just trying to get all that bad stuff out. And if someone can, if things relate to people, then that's great. And then I think a big part for me was realizing that you're not alone. Even if it's and that was a huge thing for me, just realizing that a lot of people are going through it and a lot of people are struggling, and if we can talk about it more, and we can just not try and scare people with it, but just sort of say, look, these things do happen.
Sure. And as many people as we've lost in the music industry for surrounding these similar issues, it's great that you're open about it and talking about it. We lost a lot of good ones in the last couple of years, so I think that's awesome. So, hey, I want to ask you about some of the music, and you just kind of mentioned one of the ones I was going to ask you about was Wake Up Call. It's really hard to pin a style on you guys. That's almost, I called that, when I was listening to that, this is like ska meets punk, if there is such a thing. I don't know how to describe it. Talk a little more about that tune.
We obviously keep getting asked there, so what sort of music do we do? And it is quite a hard one to put us in, really.
Yeah.
We've got, I think, being a three-piece, it's quite basic, really. The way we look at music is we're not overly technical, so we don't sort of sit down and write songs in a particular way. It's just, normally what happens is I'll get a riff or I'll get a melody or something like that, and I'll put all the music together, and then the three of us will sit down and turn it into a Last Misfit Hero song. And so, especially with the bass playing, that's up to Ange. I just say, this is what I've got an idea for, and he'll then crack on do his thing, and same with Chris. So it's very a unique sort of band, really. But like I say, with styles, I don't know. We're influenced by so many things. A big thing I'm listening to at the moment is Nirvana. Actually, I sort of missed them the first time they came around.
Oh, wow.
I listened to a lot of well, not that I missed them, but
no, actually, you missed them there's songs but until you actually sit down and dive into a band, sometimes. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I think at the time when they were doing their thing in the 90s, I was into more sort of the heavier stuff, like Megadeth, Metallica stuff.
You and me both. It's funny, a lot of those, like, that 90s era stuff is now getting blended back into a lot of stuff, and I'm like you, I missed I know what you mean exactly. I kind of just looked over a lot of those bands back then, but
and you listen to them now, and some of the albums out there are just incredible. Alice in Chains, Nirvana, the early Faith No More stuff, I've been listening to a lot of that as well, so there's a lot of influence that we take. Also a lot of sort of British punk, 70s punk stuff. Again, sort of three-piece bands.
You must have a real classic rock background too, because it's funny. One of the other songs that I also thought was you mixed a little punk in. When I was listening to Misfit, Misplaced, I almost felt like some Deep Purple or Sabbath in that tune when I was listening to it.
Yeah, there could be. Deep Purple, actually, Richie Blackmore, he's a massive influence. He was a massive influence. One of the reasons I picked up the guitar was my dad had, I think it was the Burn album, and that was one of the first albums I ever listened to, and I can still remember it, and I still listen to it now, and just the opening riff on Burn, it just blows me away. And there's a great video, actually. I always remember when I was growing up and getting into the rock music and everything, but the California Jam that Deep Purple did in, I think, 1974.
Oh, wow.
It's an amazing video. It's well worth watching, even if you don't like Deep Purple. But
I love them. Yeah, it's funny. I think they're one of the most underrated rock groups ever, but in my opinion. But,
they're incredible.
So, hey, tell me a little bit more about some of the nuts and bolts behind the music. Are you guys a self-produced operation, or do you work with somebody? How do you guys create, and where do you create?
Well, we've been going a year now, so we've got about an album's worth of material. We're up to about 12 songs. We've recorded the first 4 for the EP. We're actually going back in the studio in August to record the next 6. So we're going to release them gradually, sort of one every month, maybe.
Smart way to do it these days, yeah.
Yeah, but basically we've got an album's worth of material which we want to get down. So really, how it works, it's like I was saying, I tend to come up with most of the musical ideas and the lyrics, and then the three of us will work out a song. When it comes to producing the stuff, we work with a great guy he's not too far from us here in London, down in Kent, a guy called Dan Lucas. He's done some great albums from his studio, and he's sort of got an outbuilding out in the country, so it's a nice sort of escape, Nice
place to get away to, yeah.
Definitely, and he's really laid back laid back bloke, and it's great. It's really good. So yeah, a lot of the stuff when we turned up to record the first 4 songs, it was a case of letting him. I didn't really talk to him about guitar sounds or anything like that. I just said we want a big sort of guitar sound, punky type sounds, and I just let him get on with it. And I think that's what I've learned over the years as well, and how we create with the videos and everything else. It's just letting everyone just do what they want, really, and then from that, I mean, obviously there's some bad ideas, but then you'll get the odd nugget here and there, and then it turns out really well. So we really try and do that. I don't know if you've seen our last song Pieces. There's a video on YouTube.
Yeah, it's a cool video. I was going to ask you about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all pretty much animation, and again that came from.
Did you guys do that, or is that it's pretty cool? Is it?
Yeah, it's all animated. Yeah.
No, I mean, was it created by like the band members yourselves, or like did you have somebody work? The animation's awesome.
Yeah, well, what it is, it's a guy who I met. Actually, it's a funny story. Well, I met him about the same time last year, May last year, and his daughter actually goes to the same school as my daughter.
Oh, small world.
We had a five-a-side football between the dads, and we just sort of got talking, and it turns out that he's worked in films previously, nothing major, just a few little independent things, and we started getting chatting, and I was telling him about this project with the band. I've got these songs, I want to do videos, but I don't really know how to get them across, and then he started working with us. So when we come to do the videos, it's like 4 of us get involved, and I mean he's got all the knowledge and everything else, but we all sit down, we work out what we want, and again I think that's the main thing with this band, is that we're trying to include as many people involved, and just involve as many people, and it's just trying to be creative, just trying to get everyone involved, and just enjoy what we're doing, really.
Now, I'm just curious, have you guys had the chance to branch out, play over here in the U.S. at all, or have you just been over there in the U.K.? And I guess part B of that is, like, can you now with all this going on in the world?
Yeah, well, this is the problem we've got, is that we had the EP lined up. We did about 3 or 4 gigs last year, just to get us going. We did a gig in January in Camden, which was really good, up in London, and then we had a whole string of gigs put together for the release of the EP, and unfortunately they've all been cancelled. Sure. And no idea when we're going to be able to do anything, really. So it's a tricky one. I mean, we've been getting a lot of response from the US, actually. I think our sound is sort of just chatting to a few other sort of stations and a few people who interviewed us, but they really like the sound. I think the sound really, if anything, it sort of resonates more with an American audience than it does with a UK audience. So.
Yeah, and you guys are working it hard here. Man, I give you credit. You are, like I said, I went through. If people look at your page, man, there's a lot of interviews with you out there, though. So I give you all credit for doing that. So, hey, go ahead. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Just going to say, this is the sort of good thing with this lockdown, is that we've had a lot of time to contact people and do all the groundwork.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny. I usually have to pound the pavement a little bit to get my interviews. I've I've got people actually backed up right now just because people got time. But hey, before I let you roll here, just always like to get a little peek behind the curtain at what people are like. Do you got any hobbies? What do you do for fun when you're not making music? Are you a hunter? Are you a bowler? Video games? What do you like to do with your free time?
Well, I like playing darts.
Darts, yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I used to play for a pub team for probably about 5 years ago now, and we played sort of league darts, nothing, never a world beater or anything like that. But I find that quite a relaxing sort of pastime. If you're throwing, if you're throwing well, it's good fun. If you're not having a good day, it can be quite painful. But so that's I enjoy doing that, and then I've been trying to keep the old exercise going as well, a bit of running and things like that. So trying to keep ourselves in some sort of shape.
Well, hey man, I've had a good time talking to you. We've had Steve Catt. He is the lead singer and guitar player of Last of the Misfit Heroes. You can buy their album here in the U.S. It's all the digital outlets have it. It's Misfit, Misplaced, and worldwide you can pick it up as well. It's all over the place. So Steve, man, I appreciate it. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thank you.